Hello, everyone. This is SOS Ministry. My name is Jason Lee. Today we came to the World Gospel Center of Tegwood Church. The construction is almost finished, and we are looking forward to the dedication of the building in January. We are so happy to have this building, and we'll continue to spread the gospel to the world. The title of the message today is The Secret of the Book of Job. The Book of Job is the oldest book in the Bible. There are 66 books in the Bible, and the Book of Job is the oldest one. It is much older than the book of Genesis. If the Bible is older, it deals with more fundamental issues. That's why we can say they are more important. Okay? The book of Job contains the content of the story. The father told his son, and the grandpa told his grandson, letting them sit on their lap. It was handed down from generation to generation. It is orally transmitted literature, and it was written down later on. There are not many recordings about Satan in the Bible, and the description about Satan in the book of Job is so vivid. The book of Job is so vividly describing the triangle relationship among the three, God, man, and Satan. We must understand thoroughly about our enemy Satan, and we must understand about God. Only then we can lead a successful life and victorious life. If we cannot defeat Satan in the spiritual warfare, our life will end up in failure eventually. The Job passed through the test for 3 times. Well, he successfully passed through the test, first and second one. He went through a terrible pain, and he was able to pass through successfully. But on the third one, he could not overcome. So he cursed his own birthday, and he regretted, and he lamented, I wish my parents would not let me born in this world. If you complain against your parents, you eventually complain against and protest against your God, and unconsciously you will hold the hands of Satan. The first test, the Satan killed everybody, his family members and servants, except his wife, and the Satan burned up all the belongings and inheritances, and he had to pass through this hardships beyond description. But he was representing all mankind. He was holding the hand of God. But the second test that was also a very serious one. He came down with leprosy, and with a broken pottery, he was scratching his body. But still, he was holding God's hand. He passed through the second test successfully. Now there was a third test, and the third test was his close friends tenaciously pricked Job's heart and continually accusing and condemning Job. So Satan was using his friends as Satan's tools. God was furious because Job was cursing his own birthday. You foolish Job. If you curse your own birthday, you're cursing your parents, and you're cursing your Creator who created you. And you're holding the hands of Satan. The book of Job is describing about man's position and duty and assignment and spiritual warfare and victory and failure. The book of Job is painting the clear and vivid picture. The book of Job is started with at the conference of God's building, and the children of God was gathering together. Satan arrived there a little late. The gods suddenly talked about Job proudly, and suppose God did not talk about Job proudly, then maybe Satan would not give him hardships and tribulation. In fact, the Job did not know anything what kind of things happened in heaven in God's conference room. In spite of the fact he got victory 2 times, it was a miraculous thing. And on the third one, unfortunately, he failed on the third test. Suddenly, God talked about Job probably before the Satan. Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He's blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. Satan replied, does Job fear God for nothing? You gave all kinds of preferential treatment. So if you lift up that preferential treatment, he will surely curse you. God said, no, I don't think so. Go ahead and test him again. But you should not touch the body of Job. So the first test, except the body of Job, the Satan burned up all his belongings, killed all the servants and all the family members except his wife. So Job suddenly suffered from disaster. Job was so shocked. He was not himself. And Job, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I'll depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. After the first test was over, God told Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There's no one on earth like him. He's blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. and he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. Satan said, "But stretch your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you and your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well, and then he is in your hands, but you must spare his life." Satan approached to Job, and he tested Job second time. Satan afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. His wife said to him, "Are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die." He replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. Job was representing all mankind. He was a representative for all mankind during the Old Testament time. That's why he suffered pain and disaster on that position. And during this New Testament time, that Jesus himself was our representative, the representative of all mankind. Let us try to paint two kinds of pictures in our brains. God distributed two kinds of flags, one blue flag and one red flag. The blue flag is supporting God, and the red flag is supporting Satan. If we support God will get the victory. If we support Satan, Satan will get the victory. If we hoist the flag of positiveness, God will get the victory. If we hoist the red flag, which is the flag of negativeness, Satan will get all the victory. If Satan gets the victory, our life will end up in curse. But if the God gets the glory, our life will get a great success. Even in his pain, the Job was holding on God's hands, and between the two flags, the man was holding on the God's flag. If Job is holding on Satan's flag, the red flag, the flag of negativeness, and then Satan will get all the glory and victory. At the first test and second test, that Job was successfully holding God's hands and also hoist the blue flag up in the air. But the third test was most difficult test. His three friends give Job the hard time, ton by ton. Outwardly, they were trying to give comfort to Job, but actually giving hard time to Job. Inwardly, they were really condemning and accusing the Job. They were used by Satan as Satan's puppet. No smoke without fire. No fire, no smoke. Aren't you hiding skeletons in your closet? Etc. And Job was making excuses, and friends continually counterattacked. How then can a man be righteous before God? How can one born of woman be pure? If even the moon is not bright and the stars are not pure in his eyes, how much less man who is but a maggot, a son of man who is only a worm. The Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. God was furious because cursing one's own birthday is cursing one's own parents and eventually cursing God. Job made a fatal mistake before God and Satan. Then the Lord answered Job out of the storm. He said, "Who is this that darkens my counsel with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footing set, or who laid its cornerstone while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy?" After hearing God's powerful voice, Job put ash over his head, torn his clothes, and repented before God and said, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." The God forgave Job with mercy and blessed him again. The Lord made him prosperous again and gave him all the inheritance and treasure, twice as much as he had before. Job is our good example. He just hoists the blue flag, never hoists the red flag. Let us follow the example of our ancestor Job, and let us just hoist blue flag wherever we may go. Thank you. Hallelujah. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hallelujah. Thank you.